breach inside one of the world's most secure militaries has set off alarm bells across the region and across the globe. What began as a criminal investigation at a single airbase has quickly become a test of trust inside Israel's armed forces, and a stark reminder that the tools of espionage have evolved far beyond the imagination of any one nation. Investigators say 2 technicians stationed at Tel Nof Airbase, a central hub for Israel's fighter fleet, will be charged with spying for Iran. These were not peripheral workers. They were technicians with access to advanced fighter systems, including the FF-15, and prosecutors allege they handed over engine diagrams sensitive to human security risks. Arrest documents suggest the operation included intelligence gathering on senior Israeli figures, complicating the case and drawing in higher levels of the legal and military apparatus. Prosecutors are reportedly weighing whether to upgrade charges from espionage to full-scale treason, a move that would reflect the gravity of the alleged betrayal and the potential national security consequences. Newsminimalist.com, https://www.newsminimalist.com/articles/2-israeli-air-force-technicians-face-espionage .q. 86065-1II U_source=open OA. Officials have suggested that the suspects were embedded long enough to amass a trove of useful information. More worrying still is the allegation that as many as 8 other soldiers may have been aware of the activity and failed to report it. That possibility raises the specter of a wider compromise, not necessarily according to what they called the completion of all legal procedures. Iranian officials framed the action as enforcement of national security laws in a time of heightened threat, while critics accused Tehran of dramatizing and politicizing prosecutions to strengthen a narrative of external conspiracy. The accusations and counter-accusations have become part of the propaganda front in a conflict that now extends in Washington. In recent days, the U.S. president has been active on the matter, urging clemency in specific cases and drawing international attention. Tehran's response has been sharp and dismissive, accusing the United States of interference and of amplifying inaccurate reports. Iranian officials have sought to portray external commentary as politically motivated and as reliant on unreliable sources. The rhetorical exchange has underscored how quickly domestic legal matters can become tools in a global diplomatic struggle, each side trying to shape international perceptions as much as to win a courtroom or a campaign. Mokibpd.org, https://on.wikipedia.org/wiki/Donald_Trump?U2_source=OpenEye. Back in Jerusalem, the political leadership has been using the crisis to underscore the seriousness of the threats the country faces. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, addressing the Tishin on Memorial Day, framed Israel's campaign as a long-term effort to degrade dangerous adversaries and to preserve the state. "We have removed an existential threat," he said, while also warning Israelis that the fight is not yet over. He added, "Any moment could bring us new developments," words that were meant to steady a tense population while acknowledging the unpredictable tempo of a conflict that now spans cyber clandestine operations and conventional force posturing. Those remarks came during a high-profile conversation with Argentina's president, who was visiting what officials billed as a show of international solidarity, exactly as https://n.apa.hh/Israel-2-charge-2-air-force-technicians-with-5-02810-source=OpenEye for Israel's security establishment. The dual challenges of external pressure and internal vulnerability pose an acute managerial puzzle. How do you secure an airbase that houses some of the most advanced aircraft in the range Ion while maintaining the flow of technicians, maintenance crews, and civilian contractors necessary to keep those planes flight ready? How do you trust people who have years of clearance and access when the tools of recruitment and influence have grown more sophisticated? And how do you manage the political fallout when senior figures are singled out in allegations that reach directly into the highest echelons of the state's defense architecture? These are the questions commanders and prosecutors are now wrestling with in real time. TDTP://www.nto.org/education-center/facilities/tel-nof-airbase?mark-UTeam_source=OpenIOTIN. Legal calculus is significant. Espionage prosecutions in Israel carry severe penalties. Treason charges can carry the heaviest sentences available under military and civilian law. The debate within legal teams and among senior officers will likely center on whether the acts alleged met the threshold for treason, which requires not only the passing of information, but an intent to harm the state in a way that justifies the most stringent classification. The political dimension is unavoidable. Decisions about charging, prosecuting, and sentencing will reverberate through Parliament, the cabinet, and the public square. Newsminimalist.com, million/articles/2-israeli-air-force-technicians-face-espionage-charges-force-technicians-face-espionage 86E65 1II _source equals OpenIT. At the same time, the broader region is watching closely. Allies, adversaries, and neutral parties alike will parse the outcomes for lessons, the depth of possible penetration, the resilience of military institutions, and the degree to which a security service can respond swiftly and transparently without compromising ongoing operations. A single breach can be a warning shot to other militaries that complacency or systemic weakness can be exploited by patient, well-resourced intelligence services. For Iran, the alleged success of cult evading insiders at a sensitive Israeli base, if proven in court, would represent a high-value intelligence win with operational and symbolic implications. For Israel, a conviction and a clear corrective program would be essential to restoring trust at home and credibility abroad. Times of India, indimes.com/international/Iran-storms-international/Iran-Tel-Nof-airbase-steals-sensitive-military-secrets-iteras 3046085.3.ces UTIM_source equals OpenAI. Across the region, the contest has escalated along multiple axes. Missile strikes, cyber operations, and proxy engagements have all become part of a continuum that makes it hard to draw clear lines between kinetic military action and clandestine intelligence operations. State actors now routinely accuse one another of combining those tools in hybrid campaigns meant to degrade capabilities without provoking uncontrollable escalation. That strategic gray zone is precisely where revelations of inside access become most dangerous. Technical data plus human identifiers can accelerate adversaries' ability to plan and execute precise operations with far lower risk. Ainvest.com http://www.ainvest.com/news/air-kg-strikes-targeted-278-defense-industrial-complex-tel-5-26003 UT1_source equals OpenAI. There is also an information war underway. Each side wants to control the narrative, to prove its strength, to expose the other's duplicity, to delegitimize dissent, and to rally domestic constituencies. Tehran has sought to portray its legal actions as legitimate responses to genuine threats. Washington has at times highlighted allegations of rights abuses and pushed for restraint. Jerusalem wants both to demonstrate the reality of the threats it faces and to show that its institutions can detect and punish breaches. The result is a global conversation about secrecy, legality, and morality that plays out in headline, as much as in intelligence briefings, /spying-force-technicians-with-spying-force-technicians-with-spying-force. 810 UTIM_source equals OpenAI. For military leaders and policymakers, the immediate task is practical: strengthen vetting, tighten compartmentalization, reassess access controls for both technical documents and personal data, reinforce reporting channels and protections for whistleblowers, rebuild a culture in which even the appearance of impropriety is reported and investigated. None of these steps are new, but real change requires more than policy memos. It demands visible leadership, swift corrective action, and the resources to keep pace with adversaries who can spend years cultivating a source. d.o.x.t.t.p/colon/www.nti.org/education-center/facilities/tel-nof-airbase ? UTIM_source equals OpenAI SCS ? UTIM_source equals OpenAI. When an intelligence breach becomes public, it invites retaliation, it complicates diplomatic overtures, and it can harden domestic politics. In Israel's case, the revelation has emerged in a tense national moment, a country that has been at war on multiple fronts, a political leadership under pressure, and a social fabric stretched by prolonged conflict. The leaders who now navigate these waters must balance the imperatives of security with the need to maintain legal and moral legitimacy in the eyes of their citizens and the world. At NPH, https://n.app.ahava's/Asia/Israel -2-charge-2-air-force-technicians-with-spine-fraud-02 810 810 Finally, this affair is a reminder of the human dimension at the heart of modern intelligence. Technology matters, but so do relationships, loyalties, and small decisions made by ordinary people. Spies, insiders, and recruits are not just plot points in spy novels. They are individuals, technicians, instructors, clerks whose choices can reshape the course of events. That truth gives rise to a difficult responsibility, to design institutions that recognize human complexity, that provide dignity and oversight to those who serve, and that remain ever vigilant against the slow creep of influence from abroad. NewsMinimalist.com, https://www.newsminimalist.com/articles/2-air/force-technicians-face-espionage-charges-air-force-technicians-face-espionage 86E6518I _YouTube_source equals OpenEye. As the investigations proceed and as courts weigh their evidence, the answers will come slowly. Trials, appeals, and inquiries will unfold in public view, and with each development, new pieces of a larger geopolitical puzzle will fall into place. For now, a secure airbase has been revealed as anything but immune to infiltration, and nations that once assumed certain advantages in the shadows are being reminded that in today's contest, no advantage is permanent. This is a story about secrecy, betrayal, and the limits of control. It is also about the choices a democracy must make when its security eye threatened from within and without, how to protect the people without losing the principles that justify that protection. In the months ahead, the decisions taken in courtrooms and command centers will matter, not only for the defendants and the victims, but for the fragile balance of power across an entire